Hello friends, hi, hope you all are doing good. In this particular module, we are going to discuss the recent judgment of Delhi Tribunal in the case of HISEC and Derwent Private Limited. It is a wholly owned subsidiary of a German company. The specific issue under the consideration is before the tribunal, the SSC had filed an additional ground on a claim which was not made during the course of assessment proceedings or during the course of DRP hearings. The question under the consideration was on DDT refund and restricting taxability of DDT to the tax rate provided in the treaty and not on the 21.57% specific DDT rate. So my so from financial year 2021 onwards, dividend income in the hands of shareholders is taxable directly in the hands of shareholders, and there is no additional tax payable by the Indian company distributing the dividend income. Prior to financial year 2021, there was the concept of dividend distribution tax, wherein the Indian company distributing dividend had to pay taxes to the government of India at the specified rate. So a question would arise, a non-resident shareholder who is generally entitled to claim treaty benefits, wherein a reduced rate of tax on dividend income is provided, whether this particular benefit can be accorded to this particular shareholders or not. So my DDT rate is 21%, my tax rate to a non-resident shareholder is 15%. So whether an Indian company distributing dividend can say that it is a specific income which would have been taxable at 15%, but I am paying taxes at 21.57%. So please grant me a refund of the differential amount. So the grounds before the Delhi tribunal was that the dividend income was that of the non-resident recipient, which was governed by the provisions of the relevant DTW. Such dividend income or the taxability on this dividend income cannot be subjected to a rate in excess of the rate which is prescribed in the DTAA. Besides, as per Article 265 and Section 237 of the Income Tax Act, it is only and only the legitimate tax which could be collected by the Indian revenue authorities. Uh, so this were a specific claim which was or specific grounds of appeal before the ITAT Delhi bench. So while adjudicating the issue under consideration, uh, the Delhi tribunal had considered the following aspects. So the first question which it considered is whether this particular income, dividend income, is taxed in the hands of company or is in the hands of shareholders. So it's a very famous judgment, which is the Bombay High Court in case of Godrej and Boyce, wherein the Bombay High Court has unequivocally held that DDT is taxed on the company and not on the shareholders. This is in the context of 14A as well as section 14A read with section 1150. Though this is specifically saying that it is a tax in the hands of company and not in the hands of shareholders, there are some specific aspects in terms of DDT which one needs to consider. Uh, the first thing is that the additional income tax is a part of tax, definition of tax under section 243 or subsection 43 of the Act. Section 1150, which is an additional income tax on the company, comes within the purview of section 4 of the Act, which is a charging section under the Act. Section 1150 is a tax on income, and definition of income includes dividend income, which would be a dividend income only in the hands of shareholders. So it is only and only because of an administrative convenience that the government of India has actually came with the concept of DDT. This was specifically mentioned in the memorandum and the budget documents of the Finance Bill 1997 and the Finance Bill 2003. More so, in the Finance Act 2020, in the budget documents, the Honorable Finance Minister had specified the rationale of moving to the classical system of taxation and doing away with the DDT regime. And in saying so, she specifically mentioned that Ideally, the taxation on dividend income should be in the hands of recipient of income and not in the hands of a company paying such dividend. So in order to do away with any sort of irrationality which is created in this current regime, the government of India moved back to the classical system of taxation. Uh, Also, while considering whether DDT is the tax on company on shareholders, one would also consider that Act does not provide for any separate adjudication, yeah, so passing of a separate order with respect to the taxability of the dividend income. This is a specific aspect which is also covered by Delhi High Court, but they have not specified or provided much more deeper comment on this particular aspect. Uh, while this DDT is from 1150, which does get covered by section 4, there is a specific need or reference one would need to make to section 4 of the act. Section 4 of the act says that the tax shall be charged in accordance to and subject to the provisions of the act. In accordance to and subject to section 90 of the act, section 90 of the act, which says that for a non-resident the provision of act shall apply to the extent they are more beneficial to the SSE, and your treaty would generally override in a specific scenario, uh, is again a provision of act. So your charging provision should be subject to the provisions of the act, which would also mean that it should be subject to the section 90 of the act, which would again mean that it should subject to the provisions of treaty. So even if you are charging your additional tax in terms of TDT, such charge has to be subject to section 90 of the act, which is subject to rates specified in the DTAA. The tribunal had held that okay, your DDT rate should be restricted to your DTAA rate. However, for this specific situation, whether your non-resident shareholder is as such a resident of another contracting state and eligible for treaty benefits, whether it is a beneficial owner of the dividend income, whether or not there is any back-to-back arrangements, or whether or not that particular foreign company is having a PE in India. So all these particular aspects also need to be considered. That's why a specific matter was sent back to or remanded back to the EO for considering these aspects. But for other than this, on the principal matter of taxability of dividend income, the judgment is somewhere positive. I hope that you like this particular video. This particular judgment has a long way to go, as several other tribunals are also going to look into all these aspects. More so, the judgment of Supreme Court in the case of Tata Tea, wherein again the position of the Bombay High Court has been upheld, is not specifically mentioned in this particular judgment. However, it would be interesting to see and note how are courts specifically dealing into this particular aspect. Hope you like this video. Should you require any clarification, please feel free to contact, and please be in the safe health during this particular COVID situation. Thank you friends. Have a nice day.